Welcome to our building block tutorial in the Residential Wire Pro. What we're going to do is show you what the building blocks are used for, how to create one yourself, as well as the difference between them and graphic objects. A building block can be added to your project at any time by going up above here on this menu called Building Blocks. And at this point we have the option to choose to go to the building block designer to design our own or edit an existing one. And here we can insert a building block that's already created. And so here we have a couple building blocks. These are text blocks. If you notice back here, this is the main building block category that actually has all the different building blocks separated into folders here for us. So we're just going to go into the text blocks and we're going to choose a landscape text block here. So when we insert it, it just appears in your diagram. And at this point, if we zoom in here, we can see what this building block is all about. And here we have a legend that has a logo as well as a bunch of text in here. So if this was for your company, if you wanted to quickly edit this, and this is where the difference comes between the building block and just a regular graphic object. If you click on the building block, over on the right, you have the option under the Properties menu to edit the building block text. And as soon as you click that, a window will appear and it'll give you a view of your building block. And then as you just click in each of the text areas here, you can actually edit the text down below. And so that'll just make things quicker for updating some text in the legends and stuff that you want for your different projects. Over here on the left, we have a couple different categories specifically separated for certain building blocks. So like in this case, you can include documents, we have invoices, and an estimation sheet. This will just kind of help keep things separated a little bit out of the way from your main electrical design that you'd be working on, but at the same time attached to your project. So this time we're going to move on to the building block designer. So we're going to click there, and here we have our building block designer window. Over here on the left we have your tools that you'll be using for drawing your building blocks, your squares. We have circles, text boxes, picture tools. We're going to start by building a small little estimation form. So we're going to start with the text block. So we're just going to click our text tool, and as you notice, I'm going to zoom in here. My cursor is actually snapping. This has a page snap set to it, so this will be convenient for when you're wanting to lay out different objects. We're just going to leave our snap set. If you want to change that at any time, you can go up here to set snap spacing, and you can set it to the snap that you desire. So we're going to zoom out just a little bit so we can see our page, and we're going to grab a text box, and we're just going to indent just a little bit, and we're going to stretch this across. So here we have our first text block. If we click on it, we can resize it. We're just going to go ahead and leave that there. And here we have a text being displayed in here. And if we go up here to where it says go to the bottom of properties window, this will just go to the second half of the properties that we weren't able to see before. So we'll just stretch this out a little bit. And here we have our text block area. We're just going to pop in here a description, and then apply our text, and then we're going to choose center and then center on the vertical also. We're just going to shorten this up a little bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set this text box up above here to the color that we want. We're going to add a fill to it. So we go up here to back color. We're going to change this to a light gray. Now that we have our text box here, we're going to click on it, and I'm going to right click and hit copy, and then right click and hit paste. So now we have another copy of this object. And we'll go to edit the text in here. Call this materials. And we're going to copy and paste this a couple more times. When you paste an object, it's going to appear above the other object that you had just copied. and move that over here. So now we need to just adjust this a little bit. And we're going to edit the other two text blocks here. So what we'll have here is we'll have our materials description below here, and then we'll have the material price, and then we'll have the quantity, and then the total. So what we'll do is we'll set it up here to where it'll calculate. So as we insert this object into our Residential Wire Pro project, under the estimation section, we'll be able to do a quick calculation of the materials. So now I'm just going to copy this whole group, and then I'm going to paste it, and we're just going to do this a couple times, but in the meantime, for the next set, I'm going to change this back color to white on these objects, and I'm going to delete the text out of each one of these blocks here. Now as you click on a text block, you're going to notice some properties down here. First of all, it's going to give a text ID number, and it's also going to give a tab order. And the tab order will be when you're editing this building block in the WirePro, as you hit tab, it'll go on to the next block. In this case, we don't want there to be a tab on the total, so we're just going to click on this block, and we're going to set that tab order to 0, because this will be a value that'll be actually calculated by these other values. So we're going to set that value to 0. And then so here we have a tab order of 5, tab order of 6, and tab order of 7. Now since these two blocks are going to be numbers, we're going to change this format from a text to a number value on both of these. So now here we have in the materials description, we have this set for text, and the materials and quantity is set for numbers, and then on the total we're going to set this for numbers, and we're going to set it to display a currency designator. Now that we've got this set here, we're going to just highlight this, and we're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it a few more times. It's easier to make some changes while you can before you copy and paste the rest of them, because then you'll be going through every text box and changing every field. So we're just going to copy this. Let's do this one more time. So we're just going to go through this one more time. We have tab order of 5, 6, 7, and 0. And then down here it goes on to 8, 9, and 10. And 0. This one will set to 0. So now I want one more text box, so I'm going to right click on this total, I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to paste. I'm going to place this right down here, and then I'm going to copy this box and paste it down below here. So this will be our complete total of all these fields, and so we're going to make sure that's set for numbers and display currency also, and this is set for text. So now what we want to do is we want to go up to this first field here, and we need to set which fields it calculates. So here we have again, we have text ID 6 and text ID 7. So in this total field, we need to set the calculation type. We're going to multiply text ID 6 and text ID 7, and we're going to set the value. And so we need to do the same thing for the other fields. So we have a text ID of 10 and a text ID of 11. And so in this field, we need to multiply 10 and 11. Set the value. And text ID 14 and text ID 15. So in this total, we're going to multiply 14 and 15. Now finally, in this final total field, what we're going to do is we're going to add all these fields. So here we have a text ID of 8, 12, and 16. So in this field, we're going to select this, to add, and then here we just simply go 8, comma 12, comma 16. And what this will do is it'll add these 3 box values and place them in here. So here we have our building block pretty much finished. What we're going to do is let's just add a logo to spice it up a little bit. So we're going to choose that picture tool. We're going to draw a box and then right click to release. And then we need to left click on it to select it. Go over to the properties menu and choose browse. And then we're going to go down here to JPEG, click on this logo we made, and then here we have a logo. So now all we need to do is go to File and hit Save As, and we're just going to go, this is going to be in our invoice and estimation forms. We're just going to call this Test, and choose Save. And now we can just close out the Building Block Designer and go over here under our estimation section, go to Building Blocks, insert a building block, and we're going to go to our Invoice and Estimate Forms category, choose the building block, and here we have our building block that we just created. Now at this point you have the option to scale your building block up or down if you want it to be smaller or larger. Let's just place this down in the corner here, and we're going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. Now when we go to edit this, here we have the text fields that we can edit. So now we're just going to enter a few values here. And then as we hit tab, it goes over to the next field. And tab again, and we choose the quantity. And here you notice in this total field now, we have a total that's multiplying these two values. So we hit tab and we're on the next line. And then now that we have 2 lines, we have the addition of these total boxes here for our grand total as it is right now. And so now once all your values are entered, just click OK, and then it'll update the actual building block in your project here. And so now we are ready to print this whenever we are finished. So in order to print, all we do is go to File, we choose Print, and here we have the selected page options. One of them is our estimate page. So if that's the only page that we are wanting to print, whether it be a document or the invoice page, we just choose that page and then select it, and you are ready to print. You hit Preview Page, and we can preview the page that we are going to print. As you can see, building blocks will be useful for creating forms, and the difference between them and graphic objects is the building blocks you can edit, whereas the graphic objects don't have the ability to edit the text. This will be useful for creating label forms, logos, legends, anything that you want to just quickly add some changes to. This concludes our tutorial on working with building blocks in the Residential Wire Pro.